Hey guys, our group had obesity and physical activity. Um, my name's Connor Kaplinger, and I'm going to be reading the first couple slides. So we're going to start out talking about the pathophysiology of obesity. So when you talk about obesity, you just got to know that it's a mild state of chronic inflammation of the adipose tissue in the body, and it's actually a state of malnutrition by excess, and this leads to a defective hormonal and immune system. On this next slide here, we've got a nice little diagram and some information about how obesity is progressive and how to move along and the different processes of how you become overweight. So we'll start off with the biochemical and hormonal cyclic pathways, and this leads to your increased fat cell production. Once that happens and starts progressing, you then start having high blood glucose levels. And they continue to escalate to the point where they get very high, and this has cellular damage. In addition to this, there are complications, which can be, fatigue, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and this can affect your arthritis and kidneys. The long-term complications can be such as diabetes, heart disease, stroke, kidney problems, or cancer. And then you get to the different phases. You start with insulin resistance. So when you become insulin resistant, this means that you have high blood glucose levels for a long period of time, and this makes your body less susceptible to absorbing the sugar at the right rate. Then the next step, you start developing more fat and cholesterol, and this can be called as lipogenesis. And then that leads to your inflammation in your body. When your body starts becoming inflamed, the fat cells enlarge, and then the next step is metabolic syndrome, which then this leads with your weight gain, your fatigue, your high blood pressure as well. This generally results from lack of physical activity and poor nutrition. A sedentary lifestyle can also lead to this. Trans fats with your nutrition and your diet, an excess of trans fats, this can definitely get your body less healthy. And then you talk about the refined flours and sugars. This damages your body quite a bit and requires more insulin to find the healthy ports. And the pre-complications can be such as, your pre-diabetes, your heart disease, stroke, arthritis, cancer, and kidney problems. Some signs and symptoms of obesity can be such as breathlessness, the increased rate of sweating. This is due to the increased insulation in the body. Snoring due to the extra weight can cause your trachea to collapse, which makes it louder. In addition to this, you feel very tired. This is due to your poor metabolic function, and it can also cause joint and back pain because of extra weight and pressure on joints. Obesity can also lead to the difficulty doing physical activity and exercise due to the lack of conditioning. And then we start talking about the increased chances of death due to obesity. So obesity definitely increases your chance of death. It also increases your chance of stroke, heart disease, gallbladder, and a couple other diseases in addition to osteoarthritis. Some bad things that happen, your LDL can be high. This is your bad cholesterol, and your good cholesterol can be low, which is your HDL. High blood pressure is also a result of obesity, and increased chances of cancer. This is due to your low immune function. And sleep apnea is another thing that can happen. This is due to poor oxygen circulation while sleeping, and that is not good for you. And in addition to increased mental illnesses such as anxiety and depression, this is due to lack of confidence and social anxiety of people judging you.
Hey guys, my name's Nathaniel, and I'll be going over these next couple slides. So the first slide we got here is prevalence of obesity. Approximately 1 in 3 men are overweight, which is 34.1%, and approximately 1 in 4, or 27.5% of women are overweight, and roughly 2 in 5 adults, or 42.2%, are obese, and about 1 in 11 adults, or 9.2%, are severely obese. Men have a higher percentage of being obese, while women have a higher percentage of being severely obese. This is roughly an 11.5 to 6.9% of women being severely obese to men being severely obese. So we can see here that the women have that higher percentage of severe obesity. Next, we have the benefits of physical activity for obese populations. And some of the benefits of this is they can help to improve cardiovascular function, which can help to extend life and lower the risk of disease. It can help to eliminate chronic joint and back pain due to weight loss, which can take pressure off of the joints, take pressure off of the lumbar spine, which can help to relieve pressure and relieve pain. It can help you to get stronger and gain endurance, which can help with just having a better lifestyle in general. That way you can, if you have kids, you can go out and be active with them, and you're not having to worry about whether or not you'll have enough energy or if you'll have enough strength or endurance to even make it throughout the day. It also helps to strengthen bones and reduce the risk of injury to joints, just because you're bringing movement to your joints, you're bringing pressure and weight to your bones, which helps them to rebuild and so that they can get stronger. And also can boost self-esteem and can help improve daily mood. It can do this through a variety of different facets, like just being able to release stress by exercising and just moving and getting your blood going, which can help to regulate your hormonal levels and help you just to feel better overall. Next, we have the contraindications of exercise. Exercise is uncomfortable and it requires effort, so it can sometimes be hard to get over that first initial hump of just going and getting it started. It's also, it can increase hunger and cravings due to boosting your metabolic rate. And individuals who are overweight and obese are more prone to workout injuries just because they have more weight and they have more pressure on certain areas. And so it can be harder to do some form techniques in the proper way. And so this can put extra pressure on joints. It can also be forming a habit is difficult, and being consistent in the first part of forming that habit can be challenging. Just getting over that first, like I said, initial hump of just going and getting it done when it's not fun and it's uncomfortable can really be a challenge to do. Next, we have what does physical activity look like for obese individuals. And ideal physical activity should be 45 to 60 minutes of physical activity daily. This is just to get the heart pumping, to get your blood moving, just to get you active to help to shed off some of that weight a little bit quicker. And patients that are transitioning from a sedentary lifestyle must have a buildup of the amount of volume that they are participating in, as they risk injury when jumping right into the activity. And what this means is that you should slowly build up. You shouldn't just jump into 45 to 60 minutes a day. You should start at maybe 5, 10, 15 minutes each day, and then once your body gets used to that, you can go up to 20 to 30 minutes a day, and then just slowly build up so that way your body isn't in complete shock when you get back into being active. Physical activity and exercise may vary from standard recommendations, as these individuals may not be able to perform as much exercise and need lower intensity activity to avoid any complications. Some people may have some heart conditions that are related with being obese, and so you have to make sure that you are doing a low intensity exercise to keep that heart rate at a low BPM, so that way it is not, you're not risking cardiac problems and going into cardiac shock. So there's some things that you just have to change and that you have to manipulate, and so that you can get the physical activity that they need without pushing them into further harm. In order to cater to those who may have joint problems, individuals may perform non-weight-bearing activities such as swimming, cycling, and water aerobics, and this just helps to take some pressure off the joints so that they can still be able to get that exercise in without putting them in further harm.
Hey, what's going on, guys? My name's Jace, and I'll be finishing out the PowerPoint here. Ways to improve physical activity in obese populations. There are many ways to increase physical activity with patients who struggle with obesity. You can increase your amount of physical activity gradually, and as this increases, you can also find what works best for you. Prescription of higher physical activity targets. For an example, less than 300 minutes per week, more than 300 minutes per week of moderate intensity physical activity only resulted in significantly greater weight loss than participants received additional support, such as inclusion of family members in programs, small group meetings, and exercise coaches, or small monetary incentives to help them to achieve their activity goals. So this is an example of someone who was obese and, like we like to say, went from fat to fit. His name is Rashard Keene. At the age of 30, Rashard had his first child and made the bold decision that he would change his body completely through diet and exercise. At the time of his commitment, he weighed in at around 350 pounds and yielded a 40% body fat percentage. Throughout his journey and process, Keene often spoke about how the trainer and his family pushed him to his limits while enduring the mental challenges of keeping a strict diet and regimen. However, with this strict hard work and determination, he turned his body around to a whopping 208 pounds and hosted a 5% body fat when competing at his first bodybuilding competition a year later at the age of 31. When speaking on what was the hardest, Keene states, "Without a doubt, my diet. Having to eat some of the same foods as a robot every day is mentally draining, especially when it's not greasy, fatty foods. Training was the easy part, with the exception of cardio. Waking up on an empty stomach every day to get on the treadmill sucked, but I was committed and wanted results." So why you should implement physical activity into your life. Body composition will be extremely better. Your organs will perform better, resulting in a longer, healthier life. Your cognitive will be improved. It's effective stress release. Allows for structure in your life, more organization. Can help with things like depression and anxiety, and it can also help to boost confidence.